Hello, everyone. This is Ashish from Scenes of Influence. And in this video, we'll take a look at one of the most powerful scenes from Season 3, Episode 4 of the HBO TV show Succession. During this episode, activist investor Josh Aaronson invites Kendall and Logan to his estate for evaluating whether a truce can be brokered between them to make them work together, or whether he should consider other options, which include siding with Sandy and Stewie, or dumping the stock and exiting his position. This is one of those rare moments in the show when the mighty Roys are at the mercy of someone else who has more power than them. And Josh Aaronson, played by Adrian Brody, takes charge of the situation like a true shark. From the very beginning, it's known to him that Kendall and Logan are so detached and distant from each other that they can't even travel together. He is aware of them taking separate planes to meet him, which he later discloses during the chat. And when Kendall arrives alone, he purposely asks him, "Where's the big man?" This is also an attempt to see whether Kendall would be honest with him, or he'd cook up a story. Kendall chooses the latter, lying that Logan had to attend a call, and it's all good. But Josh implies that he knows what's going on between them by questioning his words. Quote unquote, "It's all good." Logan arrives shortly afterward, and they sit down for a chat after an awkward greeting and hug between the father-son duo, again necessitated by Josh. In that scene, I couldn't help but think of him playing the family therapist for Roy's. Despite the uncomfortable nature of the situation and conversation, Josh manages it skillfully by posing not only as an investor, but also as a friend. Ultimately, though, everybody in the room knows that he's only their friend for as long as he's not losing his money. As Logan presents his pitch to stick with him, Josh tells him it doesn't work like that, and they need to go on a walk to discuss this further. And that's where the genius of Josh comes out as he pulls different tricks out of his playbook to broker a truce between the Roys, who are otherwise out to finish off each other. He starts by stating that he has lost 10% of the value of his holdings in Waystar because of the family feud, and he wants to recover that. And that he'd be willing to side with whoever helps him recover that, whether it's the Roys or Sandy and Stewie. This statement gives him both authority and a rationale to justify his concerns and the actions that he's going to take. While the lost 10% part justifies his concern, the projection of influence through the option of Sandy and Stewie illustrates his leverage. It becomes clear with this one line itself that Josh knows playing with big fish really well. Now, a truce is possible between two parties only under two situations. First, if one of the parties decides to step back, usually the weaker one. And second, if both parties are willing to come to a compromise and yield a little. Josh tries both these methods one by one. First, he tries to leverage his position to get Kendall into backtracking. He's aware of Logan's connections, which run all the way up to the White House, the resources at his disposal, and his tenacity during tough situations. So Josh doesn't make the mistake of considering Logan as the weaker side. He's fully aware that despite all the evidence and everything that Kendall might be having, if someone has to go down in this battle, it will be Little Lord Fuckleroy.
Little Lord Fuckleroy.
So he pushes Kendall to shut down his outraged shop. When Kendall sees it as a sign of alignment with his father and refuses to budge, Josh sneaks a private moment with him and tries to extract what exactly Kendall has on Logan. He suggests that if Kendall's evidence is jack shit, it would make him look fake. And if he has really damaging evidence, then Josh would run away with his money, again implying that it would be wise for Kendall to abandon his plans. When this doesn't work, Josh moves on to the second option, to make both parties yield a little. He pushes a bit tough during lunch, making both Kendall and Logan know that he knows they're traveling in separate planes and that he has realized from his chat with Kendall that he wants his father jailed. He declares that he doesn't, quote-unquote, bet on blood feuds, signaling that if he has to stay aligned with them, he'd want them to work together. When Logan still sticks to his pitch of backing him alone, suggesting that he'll walk away from the crisis with slapped wrists and a settlement, Josh hardens his stance, stating that he is the shareholder and they work for him, not vice versa, so his rules apply. He also makes it clear that he's not, quote-unquote, some dipshit who had a lucky night at the casino and who can't see through their fake assurances. He has a gun at their heads, and he needs to know if it's going to be a functional situation or not. This is utilizing pressure on them to see if external pressure can be the glue that sticks them together. As he shifts gears of the conversation, his indirect questioning and signaling become more direct, ultimately ending in the question, can you work together? While both Logan and Kendall respond with, and sure, absolutely, Josh easily sees through the discomfort in their assurance and cracks up on their responses, ultimately telling them that he doesn't believe them. Logan decides to yield and comes up, rather reluctantly, with a speech praising Kendall, going as far as claiming that one day Kendall could inherit his massive empire. While this makes Josh believe in their assurance, at least temporarily, the shark in him comes out once again, and he doesn't forget to put forth some last-minute demands such as EPS juicing, stock buyback, etc., fully taking advantage of his leverage. But he still has one more test in his mind for the Roys. As a billionaire, he has probably heard a lot of fake speeches and doesn't trust people's words anymore. So he puts the relationship of Kendall and Logan to a test. Death, or the fear of death, often brings even the most broken families together. Families that can't be brought together in such circumstances can never be brought together under any other scenario. Josh decides to use this same fear to see if the assurance given by Logan and Kendall has any weightage or if it was mere lip service. He makes both of them walk back home through a rough track. While he initially says that he has arranged some carts for them to get back more easily, the carts are nowhere to be seen as they head back. It's also clear from Josh's weird lines throughout the walk, such as "this is the quicker way, but sometimes it takes longer," that he is playing both of them. He must have designed this plot well in advance with doctors and other arrangements on standby to ensure that it doesn't end up in a life-threatening situation for Logan, but reveals the real dynamics of the father-son relationship between him and Kendall. He notices Logan struggling to walk and waits for Kendall to make the right choice, or for Logan to give up on his highly inflated ego and ask for help. Neither of them makes the right decision, which tells Josh that their relationship is irreparable, and so are their personalities and characters. Logan and Kendall use their walk to engage in their verbal power play, trying to beat each other down by projecting themselves in stronger positions, so they fail to see what Josh is doing. Ultimately, this culminates in Logan getting severely dehydrated. And when Josh sees that even this sort of situation couldn't budge Kendall from advancing his own position, he realizes that nothing can make them work together. That's why in the end he conveys to Frank that the leadership is fractured at the top, and why he's seen meeting Stewie later on. So this was my analysis of Josh Aaronson's meeting with Kendall and Logan Roy in Succession Season 3. Which other negotiation or deal-making scenes should I analyze next from the show? Feel free to let me know in the comments. Also, do not forget to hit the subscribe button to receive the notification for my next video. See you soon.